An important thing to consider when it comes to thinking about the political left and right is the historical record. Can we compare the respective records of the left and the right? Well, sure. Look around the world. Where mostly left-wing regimes have held sway, what is the record? Well, destruction. Power ripped violently from the hands of the people. Despair, impoverishment, death on an unimaginable scale. But as the left constantly flogs mostly equal societies, in those nations, the peoples are mostly equally impoverished, equally silent due to the abolition of free speech, equally paranoid, equally deeply oppressed and depressed, equally powerless. In other words, the left has delivered on what it always said it would deliver. That's around the world. How about right here in the mostly center-right Western world? Well, we do have left-wing enclaves, areas governed by leftist thinking, and sometimes for quite a long time. Here in America, we call those enclaves cities. Some of them have been very much under left-wing control quite literally for decades. How about the cities in America? How are they doing? Incredibly, in this, the most prosperous nation the world has ever seen, the cities are like reverse oases. Instead of small, lush, green, flourishing islands in a sea of desolation, American cities are small, geographically speaking, of course, stains of poverty, despair, petty crime, violence, governmental tyranny, and death on an inexcusably massive scale. But, as the left so frequently and so loudly proclaims, they're largely equal and equalizing areas of the nation. It should be noted that in these enclaves, by far, the most prosperous people are the very wealthy elites, industrialists, tycoons, moguls, billionaires, and zillionaires, who have said all the right leftist things, but have taken advantage of their access to higher-ups in the government to carve out exceptions and numerous other special arrangements that have enriched them mightily. Under the left, truly, the richest get far, far richer, while the poor either remain poor or become even poorer. It's the same story across the Western world. The cities of the Western world continue to deteriorate as leftist mayors and governments implement their very pretty-sounding leftist ideas to the destruction of so many businesses, industries, careers, and, most importantly, people's lives. This is the thing. Everywhere the left takes over, even when it's not hard leftists, as in the former Soviet Union, China, North Korea, Vietnam, Cuba, Venezuela, Eastern Europe, Africa, and so on and so forth. In those places, first enslavement and deprivation of freedom follow, then come impoverishment and death on a massive scale. Where the left is most thoroughly in control, as in the places I just listed, despair and violent death are commonplace. In fact, they're far more common than happiness, or hope, or progress. The contrast with the record of the political right could not be more stark. In all areas of the world where the regime has been largely center-right or overtly right-wing, all the result has been increasing prosperity at all levels, meaning, yes, the rich have gotten richer, and the poor have gotten richer. Also, these nations have peoples who have seen longer, healthier lives, increasing freedom, less violence, less crime, vastly greater quality of life. And the main reason for all this is the central political philosophy of the political right wing, largely leaving you alone to live your own life as you see fit. A diminishment of leftism and of governmental power works out best for everyone, no exceptions, the rich and the poor. People understand innately that you and I prosper more when everyone prospers more. The richest among us understand it the best. Their desire is that they themselves get richer, of course, but they know full well that if the poor are getting poorer, that means that society is not doing well, and that their own wealth is in serious jeopardy. The richest among us know full well that if they want to get even richer, they must work for a society in which everyone prospers more. A society in which everyone gets richer, not just they themselves. So when the rich are working for their own selfish best interests, they're actually working to deprive the government of power and to put that power in the hands of the people. I wish I could say that I've just revealed some deep truth about economics, but this is really the most basic of stuff. Third-grade economics, really. But it's really basic third-grade truths that the left, especially the ones with advanced degrees, is completely unaware of. Fascinatingly, when this has not been true in the West, when there have been setbacks and decreases in prosperity and quality of life, it's always when, at least temporarily, Western peoples have lost their way and allowed leftists to take control, as in Scandinavia and large parts of Europe, for example. Scandinavia is where they are currently busily dismantling all the left-wing barnacles they allowed to encrust themselves on their bodies politic, and they're turning their nations around. Finally, remember, if you place all power in the hands of the government, regardless of how wonderful and sweet and kind are the people currently in power, the day will come when scoundrels or tyrants will take over, and your country and you will be deeply, thoroughly screwed. The lesson is simple. Always, always, always keep the power to oppress out of the hands of the government. The left offers the peoples of the world a very simple bargain. Give us your freedom, and in return, we'll give you misery, poverty, squalor, violence, enslavement, despair, and death. Incredibly, people in the Western world keep taking them up on it.